Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you, and let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up the screen here on NEO. I covered NEO yesterday, and while I put out the video, about the same time, this came out about the Hong Kong listing. So I got a bunch of comments like, man, you need to follow up on this and do another video. So that's exactly what I'm doing. And there's also an issue, the fourth quarter earnings, according to a report on Benzinga, and I'll show you that as well. They're saying the fourth quarter's been delayed till April instead of March. So we're going to take a look at that as well. So let's start out with the Hong Kong listing. All right, it says NEO shares are expected to begin trading in March 10th, as the key approval got secured, and it says what you need to know. Of course, here's the ET7. We're really looking forward to that coming out in March. Be late March. I think it's 28th. Says NEO had received a letter of in-principle approval from the Stock Exchange of the Hong Kong Limited to list its Class A ordinary shares. And we know that this is a listing that is no dilution. I can't emphasize that enough. No dilution. They're going to use shares they already have, and it won't be, they're not raising money or anything like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why the stock popped. But again, no dilution. And I think this number is important in China. I think it's good luck, 9866. I don't know why, but anyway, that's what I've heard. And why this is important, number one, it brings on a lot more people that can buy NEO. That's also a big positive. But it has something to do with delisting. You know, if for some reason NEO in a few years got delisted, it would have the ability to still trade. I don't think they'll go down that road, because why would you want to lose all the investors in America, which is the biggest stock exchange, and not have all that money that can go into NEO? It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense over auditing. But you know, it's a risk. It's not one that's current, but at some point, you know, a few years from now, it could be. So the other issue right now is Ukraine, and we know all about that. And it looks like Ukraine's doing okay. It's hard to say against Russia. You know, they've got a very powerful army, but it looks like Ukraine's doing pretty well. And that hopefully, you know, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The big concern that I had over the last few days, I talked about it yesterday, would be what if China did this to Taiwan? Let's say Russia goes in, sweeps in, replaces the president and the entire political party, and puts in a puppet regime, and then it negotiates with the West and everything's okay all of a sudden. Well, that would not be good, because then China would look at Taiwan and go, we're just going to do the same thing. And that, like I discussed, that's where all the chips are made. 90% of the chips in the world are made in Taiwan, the high-end ones. And cars got to have that. You know, everything's got to have it. So it'd be terrible if it happened, and it would really have a ripple effect through every stock exchange, not just the New York Stock Exchange. So that, I think, is less of a risk now than it was a few days ago, because I think Russia is just, I don't know that it could be going much worse for them. And yeah, I know it's going terrible for Ukraine too, because it's a disaster. But Russia is, I mean, they're becoming a pariah. And I'm talking about the leadership in Russia, not the Russian people. So it's kind of is what it is. But those are the two elephants in the room: delisting, and of course, the possibility of the Taiwan issue. They're risks. You might as well know it.
Message.
That's right, message. So anyway, but let's take a look at the chart. All right, so we had a pretty nice pop today, about 9%. I was glad to see that in my portfolio, that's for sure. It wasn't a huge pop when you consider how much this thing's come down, but we'll be looking for those February numbers. I'm not over-expecting, nor should anybody else, because remember, they lose an entire week of February with the New Year's holiday, which is a government holiday. So understand, you know, everybody's probably pretty much take that week off. So that's going to definitely affect the numbers. And there's a few less days in the month. So you got a double whammy there. So do not over-expect. And I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 6,000 to 8,000, what I said yesterday. So call it 7, and that'd be about 75% of what happened in January. And this is a slow time of year as well. And I don't expect it to be anything like what Chucky did to us back in October, when they were shut down for 2 weeks to work on the lines for the ET7 and to double the manufacturing capability in their JAC factory. Now, this other issue, it says why NEO is delaying the Q4 earnings by a month. It says NEO, which has over 100 subsidiaries spread across China, Europe, and the United States, said it would file its annual report in April as it needs additional time to prepare for capital liquidity disclosures. That may have something to do with the Hong Kong listing, so I'm not terribly concerned about that. It says they have up to 4 months to report, and so they need to do it by the end of April. So I think they have not given us a date in April, but probably be somewhere in the middle. And here it does say the company still has not provided an exact date for when it plans to publish the report in April. And this is on Benzinga. I've not seen this anywhere else. So I like to see something like this in 2 different publications, not just one. So, just to be 100% sure, I'm 99% sure, but I'd rather be 100. If anybody knows anything about this, comment to me. Because like I said, I'm having to go by this, and I've looked around. I haven't seen another report on it. Now, like I said, I did actually cover NEO yesterday, and I think my title was, Houston, do we have a problem? I'm feeling like it's less of a problem. The big thing I was talking about with Taiwan, also getting a Hong Kong listing, I think it's a positive across the board. So I've gone from thinking this.
Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe we don't. There's always those concerns, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'd like to see a 9% pop too. That was real nice. So we'll just keep an eye and we'll see what happens to those February numbers. Those should come out anytime, probably in the next 24 hours, and we'll cover that as well. And that's NEO today. Just wanted to do a quick covering of the Hong Kong listing and also that 4th quarter delay. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover NEO. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Give the channel a chance. I'd appreciate it. And I hope you did like the content. And we'll see you next time on Mr. Frugal Investor. And I'm glad it went up 9% today.